Hello guys, welcome to the stream. We have some crazy, amazing season 3 news from the official Bandai Namco Tekken source. Okay, let's have a look at this. It is a small little document, but it has a lot of information. Very, very important information. Uh, this one. Let me share my screen like that. Okay, here we go. Okay, guys. So we're gonna have a look at this thing. Look, it says 27 to 2026, right? 27th February 2026. So it dropped today. It dropped today. And this is going to be related to season 3 balance direction. And it has a lot of important information. So let's go through everything. So first of all, here we go. We're just gonna read, you can say, through the important thing. My mouse for some reason is not working. I have my arcade stick is working properly, but my mouse is not giving issues. Okay, anyways, the battle balance adjustments and launch of the Taken developer feedback portal beta. Right, number one, battle balance adjustments. This post provides additional clarification regarding the intent behind the season 3 battle balance policy terms, refined balance and back to basics. So these two terms they have been marketing these two terminologies. And now Namco is making this clear. What does it mean? What does refined means, right? What does back to basics mean? So what does it mean? Number one, these terms do not denote a return to earlier taken battle systems, nor do they imply drastic comprehensive changes introduced in a single update. This is that I have been mentioning, right? This is what I have been discussing. They are not going to remove the heat at all, right? They have invested so many resources into heat system, all right. So heat systems going to stay, right? Stances are going to stay. So these things are going to stay. So again, they're saying like they're not going to return to earlier taken battle systems. Earlier taken battle systems, I think they mean like Taken 7, Taken 6, games before that. They're not gonna go into that direction, right? They're not going anywhere. They're going to stay in, you can say, Taken 8, right? Okay. In line with the current Taken 8 battle system, right? So they're going to stay, in this Taken 8 system, right? And to Taken 8, the system is aggression. The main theme of Taken 8, you can system is aggression, right? Aggressive. Okay. Season 3 focuses on refining areas where outcomes tended to be extreme. So, number one, they are going to refine areas where outcomes tended to be extreme. So, what does it mean? It means they are going to reduce the reward, right? Reduce the reward or maybe increase the risk. So, they're going to again balance the risk and reward factor. And this is what I always say that players should focus on this risk and reward system. To understand the game, you can say, in a better outcome tended to be extreme, so they're going to refine those areas. So let's say you do something and then you get massive reward, right? Or you do something where you don't commit to any risk at all, so they're going to refine those things, right? They're going to improve those things where it is not extreme anymore but it is balanced. Okay. Establishing conditions in which decision making and tactical judgment can operate more consistently, right? So they are saying like those extreme rewarding situations, right? Or like those zero risk situations, they're going to refine those situations so that your decision making, you have to actually make decisions now, right? So players have to make decisions. Player cannot press just one random button and if it works, it works. If it does not work, okay, I'm gonna press another one, right? If it works, works. If it does not work, I'm gonna press the third one. So that thing is gonna go away, right? So decision making and tactical judgment, right? So you have to be like more, you can say, you need to have like more techniques, right? strategies, and your decision making should be better, right? You should know this decision is good or bad, right? So decision A, these are the advantages, one, two, three, right? And these are the disadvantages, one, two, three. And then there is decision B, and decision B also has, like some different advantages, one, two, three, and some different disadvantages, one, two, three. So, you have to decide, right? And you need to have that tactical judgment, right? Yeah. Okay, now moving forward. Refined balance and back to basics are not final goals. Okay, that's good to hear. That's actually good to hear because they're gonna do more than this. This is what it means, right? This is not where they're going to stop, they're going to do more. Okay, this is good. They are simply principles that help guide the team in evaluating issues and deciding how to adjust the game moving forward. So, they're going to, again, they're saying like they're going to use these two terms, right? To define all of the changes, right? To guide themselves in a direction. So this is going to be the direction: refined balance and back to basics. Okay, number one, they're talking about refined balance. Refined balance, they're explaining what refined balance is. Refined balance reflects a phased and measured approach to adjustment, right? So there are two things. They're saying it is a measured approach, right? So they're going to, you can say, measure it, right? Carefully measure everything. They're not randomly going to throw buffs and nerfs, etc. It's going to be properly measured, and it's going to be a phased, you can say, approach. What does phased mean? There are going to be different phases. It is not like, so the thing is, many players, including me, and you can say like almost all of the players, complained that, you can say, in season 2, they dropped like one big patch. After that, they did not do anything to the game, right? So they're moving away from that, you can say, approach, right? They are taking the new, not the new approach, but you can say old classic approach, right? Where they drop the big patch, and then after that big patch, there are multiple patches going to be there as well. So in short, there are going to be different phases, right? This is a phased and measured approach, refined balance. They're not going to drop one big patch, right? So let's say on 17th of March, we have the season 3 patch, and then Namco is like, okay guys, bye bye, see you in season 4. That won't happen. That thing is gone. We'll see, we'll hear more and more, you can say, from the developers throughout the season 3. Okay, making incremental refinements rather than rebuilding the system in a single step, you see, while maintaining the core mechanics of Tekken 8. What are the core mechanics? Aggression, heat system, stances, the pressure. These things are going to be there, right? But these will be refined in a way where the outcome is not extreme. You have to you have to have that decision making, right? You have to have the tactical judgment, right? Right? You will need those tactics now. You might have to properly learn your character if you want to beat someone better than you. That is what it might mean, but we'll see. Okay, now, so this is what it means by refined balance, right? It is a phased and measured approach. Number 2, back to basics, right? Back to basics establishes the criteria for assessment whether exchanges of offense and defense function appropriately, whether defensive and you can say evasive decisions are reflected accurately. So back to basics. So in simple words, I think they're saying that, they're going to, again, you can say, try to have a balance between, you can say, offense and defense, right? And make sure they're functioning. Here, functioning properly does not mean that there are not going to be bugs anymore. I think it does not mean, functioning properly does not mean that. Functioning properly means that changes must be intentional, right? What is intended, that should happen. There might not be some unintended things. So it is not the bugs, but you can say more, it is more, you can say, defining their intentions, the intentions of developers, right? What they intend, they should see that in offense and defense, right? And they have already explained, they're going to, you can say, remove the extreme outcomes. Okay, next thing is whether defensive and evasive decisions are reflected accurately in outcomes, right? So what does it mean? So, for example, if you look at the Askas cans, right? Askas back through Paris, those things give too much reward, right? All of those tools give too much reward. Compare that to Leroy's parry. Yeah, Leroy's parry, it is universal parry, right? It parries everything, but it is nowhere as effective, or you can say Clive's parry is nowhere as effective as Askas cans, right? Or you can say Askas parries, especially if you land the move, you know. So that is the thing. So here I think they're focusing the word outcomes, right? Okay, so we're going to read it again. Whether defensive and evasive decisions, right? So here they're focusing on the defense part only in this sentence. Defensive and evasive decisions are reflected accurately in outcomes, right? And whether individual errors produce disproportionately large consequences. They don't understand exactly what they mean here. So like here by individual errors, they might mean, let's say, if you as a player, make the wrong decision, right? So it might be related to that decision making thing. So this individual error, I think, in my opinion, I think this is getting, you can say, connected back to that decision making thing, right? So if your decision making is bad, you know, if your decision making is bad, you should get punished accordingly, right? It's not like, so if you make a little mistake, if you make a small mistake, right, you get punished accordingly, right? There should be a small punish for it. If you make big mistake, you should get punished hard, right? It's individual errors. I don't know. We will see. We will see. Okay, now moving forward. Accordingly, season three does not guarantee dramatic, immediate shifts such as substantially strengthening defense or significantly weakening offense in ways that diverge from the intended gameplay philosophy of taking it. Okay, so again they're saying it is not going to be a sudden one-time patch, right? They're not going to change everything, turn everything upside down in one patch, and then they'll say, okay, guys, good luck, best of luck. We'll see you in the next season. That won't happen. They'll slowly over time improve it. So now the concern here is that how many changes there are gonna be. If they give us too little changes, then it is concerning. But if we get, you can say, good amount of changes, it is fine, right? So good amount of healthy changes to the game mechanics, right? To the heat system, to installs, right? To stance pressure and individual character changes. If we get, you can say, good amount, right? Don't give us those like 2000 or 3000 or 1500 changes. Maybe 700, 600 is fine, but game should feel like more playable, game should feel healthier, game should feel new. We should feel that we are in sitting in season 3, not in season 2, right? So, and I think that is the case. Okay, moving forward. Below are the examples of adjustments included in version 3.0, the starting point of season 3 balance updates. Okay, so they're gonna show us some example. Okay, this is where it gets crazy, and this is where everyone should be filled with the hopes, right? So again, we're gonna remember some keywords. If we go back, the keywords are, they're going to refine areas where outcomes tend to be extreme. Decision making and technical judgment is going to be relevant, right? Offense, defense and defensive maneuvers, all of the evasive stuff, right? Decision making, individual errors, these things matter as well. Okay, now the first example. Okay, I'm gonna click this. Too much noise. Let me mute this. Too much noise. Maybe like a little bit of noise is fine. Okay, let's see what they say. Horang, we see the Horang. Okay, wall splat, right? This is what happens now. Okay, if we see here, it says season 3 version 3.0. No heat smash, wall splat, guys. Big change, big W, guys. Double thumbs up, 2 thumbs up, right? If I had more hands, right, I would give even more thumbs up, right? I'm giving this change as many likes as possible. So, very, very good change. Extremely good change. So, look, season 2 versus season 3, side by side comparison. So now, why this change is important? Why this is important? First of all, look, normally, Horang goes for, you can say, the hit smash, right? He deals 51 damage. Yeah, he deals 51 damage, right? He gets like 2 million plus frames, to apply the pressure later. But at the wall, when Horang is next to the wall, that 51 damage, you can say, goes up to maybe like 80 or 90 damage, right? Depending on if there is a, you can say, breakable, you can say, wall or stuff like that, right? If there is a wall gaming that you can trigger, or if there is just a simple wall splat, right? It depends on the character size. Some characters can give you big combos. So like, so this 50 damage goes up to 70, 80, 90, depending on different situations, right? But which is very annoying, which is extremely powerful. This is one of the examples of that, you can say, extreme outcomes, right? This is one of those examples. But now this move is just a 51 damage pressured button, which is very good, which is very good. This move, like, it must have worked like this in the first place, right, from the get-go. But now they have changed it. This is very good, extremely good change, right? Now this is going to impact the gameplay in many ways. Let's say Horun gets a launcher, or maybe like Lo gets a launcher, or Jin launches the opponent right from the middle of the stage. They're going to use, like, you can say, tailspins, tornado, and then they do the heat burst, right? They use all of the, like, characters with wall splitting hit smashes. They can use every combo standard they can use, right? Take the opponent to the wall, do wall combo, right? And by the time you're done with the wall combo, 80 to 90 damage is already done to your opponent. Now your opponent wakes up into a situation where if they duck, they die, they get hit by a hit smash and you die, right? So snowball potential, extremely high snowball potential these characters had with the wall spreading hit smash. Now that is gone, right? So the snowball potential is gone. So let's say now if you do the 80 damage combo, take your opponent to the wall, utilize all of your combo extenders, right? Now your opponent wakes up, bit duck. Now they're gonna take 50 damage, right? Instead of like 90 damage. So your opponent is going to still end up you can see in a situation where they have 70, 80 HP, and they have a lot of chip damage to recover, and they have the resources to do the comeback. Very good. This is extremely good compared to season 2 situation where you take 80 damage from the combo. If you guess wrong, you take another 80, 90 damage from the wall splitting get smashed, right? And then you are just one poke away from death. So that situation is going extremely good, very good. It is going to change the gameplay. Now Horang players, Jin, Lo, they might not want to go to the wall, maybe, right? They might not want to use the hit burst because the snowball potential to end the round is not there anymore. So now as a Lo, as a Jin, maybe you would want to launch your opponent, right? Look for a launcher, do the combo, or don't use the hit burst, right? Maybe poke the heat later on to answer your opponent's heat, or maybe to get out of the pressure. Maybe you can use heat burst in that scenario, but we have to see. Maybe they're going to change the heat burst, right? We don't know how many changes they're going to make, but they mentioned that they're not going to be sudden, you can say, bombardment of changes, right? They're not going to be 20 million changes. Some changes are going to be there. Okay, example 2. Revision of character specific power up states and heat. So up to season 2, if the activation of heat also granted a character specific power up state, example Claudius Starburst. So they're talking about install, right? So they're saying up to season 2, activation of heat granted, you can say, the install, right? The power up remained active even after the heat. Yes. So let's say you're playing Claudio, or you're playing, you can say, any install character like Asuka, or Leo, right? You press the hit button. Even if you don't have install, you press the hit button, boom, you get the install, right? And you get the, you can say, exactly the same amount of heat. If you don't have install, you press the button, you get the install, and you get, you can say, the heat, the amount of heat that you normally would get with the install as well, right? So So you would get the install. I don't know if that thing stays or no, but you can say they did not mention that thing. But what the thing is, the thing that they mentioned is that after you have utilized your heat, because throughout you can say your heat state, you have access to the install. Throughout the heat system you have access to the install, and after your heat is over, right, let's say you have used your heat, with the heat dash or heat smash, right, or maybe your heat timer ran out, you would still have access to that install. But now the moment heat is gone, your install is gone. It is not permanently gone, but that one stack of install, that Claudio had, or you can say the Aska had, or the Leo had, that is gonna go. So it is not like now Brian, cannot do heat smash and then taunt into forward 2-1-2 incinerator string, right? That thing is not possible. Or Claudio's, like running to heat dash, or maybe back 4 to heat dash, Claudio's +5, Claudio has installed, now he goes for down 1-2, or maybe in power Shoryuken. That is not possible, right? Or maybe like Asuka's heat smash into up 1-2, empowered up 1-2 is not possible. So heat smashes into that empowered version, or he dashes into that empowered attack to install that thing is not possible. But do you can still get the same amount of heat if you don't have install compared to if you have install, right, with the heat activation? I don't know, but heat ending state they have mentioned it. Okay, so there is the example video explanation. So look, Claudia has installed, look, he used the heat, look, you see empowered Shoryuken. Season 2, now season 3, he has the heat, Claudia used the heat dash, install is gone. Nice, beautiful, good, very good, right? It is extremely good and very healthy change, extremely good and healthy change, right? And they showed like these two changes only, right? Because they don't want to definitely kill the hype of the game, but maybe there might be more changes, and definitely there are going to be more changes, but I don't know. Maybe you can see the heat and the start of the heat, and you can see the installer related in some way as well. Okay, now in addition to the system level adjustments, right, these are, you can say, system changes, how system works, and these changes are going to affect every character with install, or every character with heat smash, wall splat, right? So there is a system level changes. Version 3, season 3 will also include, and here by version 3 they don't mean, by the entire, my bad, they don't mean the entire season 3, they mean the first patch of season 3. Version 3.0 is the first patch of season 3. So the first patch of season 3 will also include balance changes to individual character moves. So it is not like these moves of Claudio, or you can say these are the changes to Claudio, but there are more changes. There are more and more and more changes in each individual character, right? So we'll see. We don't have any idea about those changes yet. The version 3.0 patch notes are scheduled for publication on Tuesday, March 17th, Japanese Standard Time. So in Japan, it is going to be 17th March, and in NA, I think it is going to be 16th March. In Pakistan, it's going to be 17th March as well, right? And in AU, I don't know. It is going to be end of 16, end of 16th March and early 17th March, around the midnight. So in Pakistan, the update will drop, I think, around the midnight or during early morning. Sometimes, because this is the, you can say, this has been their normal schedule. This is, you can say, the time where they usually drop updates. Okay, now very important information: balance adjustments. Balance changes will not end with version 3.0. This is what happened with season 2 mainly, right? They dropped the season 2, they dropped the emergency patch because there were some unintended, you can say, move behavior, right? So they fixed that. They fixed all of those unintended behaviors, and then boom, Namco said bye bye, GG's guys, best of luck with the game state. But now that is not going to be the case. Balance adjustments will not end with the version 3.0. So So after the first patch, there are going to be more changes because they mentioned that if we move up, they said that it is going to be a phased approach, right? Phased approach. The season 3. So rather, updates will continue on a ongoing basis. This is very good. This is extremely good. Large scale abrupt changes carry a risk of unintentional distortion of the battle environment. Exactly, the season 2 is the prime example of this you can say statement. Therefore, adjustments will be implemented gradually and continuously in alignment with the defined policy direction. So they're going to keep the refinement in mind, they're going to keep the best back to basics in mind, and you can say with they're going to you can say keep dropping the balance changes based on those two things, including in conjunction with the introduction of new characters, and it includes new characters as well. So if let's say Kunimitsu is broken, or maybe like the Bob is broken, they're going to fix the character, right? So Kunimitsu, let's say if Kunimitsu is as broken as Anna, right? Kunimitsu hopefully won't stay the same by the end of season 3. Similar to Anna has been broken throughout the entire season. Okay. And now establishment of official development feedback portal, right? I did not read this. I think this is where you're just going to what it is called. You can say submit some feedback, right? Directly to the developers. Okay, now rank match reset and matchmaking logic improvements. So rank reset and season participation rewards. At the start of season 3, each character's rank will be recalculated based on the player's highest achieved rank during season 2. So this was the case in season 2 as well. When season 2 dropped, what they did, there is one change here, by the way. So let's say if I had like 20 characters at Lord of Destruction, right? My only one character, you can say, stayed, you can say, at Lord of Destruction. Sorry, moved down to Taken King. Only one character. Everyone else, you can say, got demoted further. So they're not going to do that. Then they're going to look at each individual character's rank, and then they're going to, you can say, demote those characters, or you can say rank reset those characters individually. So it is not going to be like your highest rank characters, you can say, goes down by 3 or 4 ranks, and everyone else, boom, bye bye. You have to rank up them again. That won't happen. This enables season 3 to begin with the rankings that more accurately reflect the revised battle environment. In addition, special titles will be awarded based on each player's highest achieved season 2 rank. Oh, unfortunately won't be able to get the Destruction 3, Destruction 4, because it is like nearly impossible, right? I have to sit here and play the game for like 24 by 7 to get the rank, because I don't find any opponents. But that is fun, right? I go like multiple Destruction to get. Okay. Rank point system, visualization, and okay. So now they're gonna discuss point system. So okay, I can explain like what they're gonna do is, so look, adjustments will also be made to promote bonuses, right? So there are going to be bonuses in points, right? Win streak, if you go on a winning streak, you should be rewarded. Yeah, I agree. If you go on a winning streak, if you're performing, you should get rewarded. Win streak bonus is going to be there. Promotion bonus should be there, right? Additional rematch victory points. So this is to address one and done. Right? If you rematch and you win, you get more points. And demotion criteria, they're going to look at demotion criteria, because sometimes you get promoted and next match you can say you're on demotion, right? I think that thing should not exist, especially when you get promoted for the first time. There should be a rank loss protection for one game. If you win the game, protection is gone, right? Ensuring that the player progress and challenges are evaluated appropriately. Match logic improvement. So matchmaking logic, this is where game would consider your highest rank, right? So let's say if you're Destruction 3, you would get matched against someone whose highest rank is close to Destruction 3. So if you get higher and higher and higher, as you can say in rank, the more difficult it will become for you to find games. So matchmaking will be refined to reduce pairing between players of significantly different skill levels, ranking logic for secondary characters and rank-based matchmaking restrictions will also be reviewed to improve fairness while maintaining reasonable matchmaking time. So they're trying to fix the matchmaking time so you find matches faster. They mentioned this, you can see in the previous you can see the previous document, that they're going to remove that thing where game will look at the highest rank of both players before the fight. They're going to remove that. We have compiled and shared any web phone activities, Plant Person 3, blah 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 blah. So this was it, guys. The best news, these two things. The best news, installs are getting nerfed. Heat, you can see it, Smash Wolf floods are going away. And now with this, I'm thinking that you can say, what if, let me so what if low hit smashes, for example, like Victor, or even the mid hit smashes, right? Battle arrow. Why did my game crash? For some reason. Let me see. Okay, it loaded, guys. Okay. So what I was saying, yes, hit smash into wall flood is gone. But what if hit smash into wall blast stays? Wall gimmick stays, right? The floor gimmick, it stays. Wall splat is gone. But what if wall blast stays? Guys, what if that is the case? What if they took that thing away from those characters, but the low hit smashes still will, you can say, trigger the wall gimmicks, right? Because they did not mention the wall gimmick trigger, because Fang can trigger the wall gimmick, Jun can trigger the wall gimmick. If there is a wall blast available, Jun can do the attack. Okay, is it better now, guys? Hey Corrosive, how are you doing? Is it better? I think it has something to do with the Taken game. Hey Corrosive, is the stream better? Is it better? Okay. I did turn off the game. Is it better now? Maybe it was just the game. Maybe it was just the game that was not that you can say made the stream laggy, because there is an update that I have to do on my PC. I can see that update icon. Okay, it is fine. Okay, so it was not the internet, it was just the game. So I think maybe like I need to restart the PC and update, you can say everything, right? And then later on, no worries, no worries. So let me, you can say, finish my discussion. So I was saying, they showed Jin and Horang, right? They showed the issue where you can say hit smashes wall splat, but they did not show the situation where hit smashes trigger the wall gimmick or floor gimmick. I'm concerned about that. If they removed everything entirely, it means low hit smashes like Victor's hit smash, Lee Chaolan's hit smash, or Paul's hit smash are going to lose that wall gimmick trigger, right? It is good. It is good to be. It is good. Players should put effort to win. Okay. Oh, guys, I'll restart the stream.